Hey, I'm Wally Adamchik, president of Firestarter Speaking and Consulting, and welcome to Construction Leadership from A to Z, 26 words to lead by. Today, brought to you by the letter P, power. Lions don't need to roar, the words of Deborah Benton. Power, the ability to do or act, capability of doing or accomplishing something. The opposite would be weak, impotent, unable to act, or lacking authority. Because I said so. If you're a parent, you have uttered these words. If you had a parent, you have heard these words. These words represent brute power at its worst. There is no reason offered, no mitigating graciousness. It's force, pure and simple. My experience has taught me that this doesn't work in parenting, and my experience as a leader tells me it definitely doesn't work in the supervisor-employee relationship. We often use power and control to get things done, and sometimes to justify our authority. But it's important to remember that while we can really only control a few people, we can influence many. Our ultimate source of power does not come from the authority vested in us by the powers that be. It comes from your people who buy into what you're trying to accomplish and are willing to run through walls to help you do it. History reminds us that power is not always a good thing. Centuries ago, those in power could have you put to death simply because they felt like it. Today, those in power seem to play by a different set of rules than the rest of us, and again, because they feel like it. But power need not be a scary or a negative concept. In fact, we use it every day. Power moves us from potential to action. When used correctly, power and leadership can be intimate allies. Jeffrey Pfeffer, professor of organizational behavior at Stanford University, is the author of Power: Why Some People Have It and Others Don't. And power is the focus of his teaching. One of his primary lessons is that you must make peace with power. In other words, it's not an inherently bad thing. He also maintains that you will not get far if you are unable to build and use power. Al Genie, co-founder and editor of Business Ethics Quarterly, writes, "To have power is to possess the capacity to control or direct change. All forms of leadership must make use of power. The central issue of power in leadership is not will it be used, but will it be used wisely and well." Well said. A person has the potential for influencing over 5 bases of power. Researchers John French and Bertram Raven identify these as coercive power. This is the effectiveness based on fear. Employees working under coercive managers are unlikely to be committed and more likely to resist the manager. Reward power. Compliance is achieved based on the ability to distribute rewards that others view as valuable. You might find it advantageous to trade favors with this person. Legitimate power. The authority a person holds due to their position in the formal hierarchy of the organization. They have the right, considering their position and your job responsibilities, to expect you to comply with valid requests. Expert power. This is influence based on special skills or knowledge. This person earns respect because of accumulated experience, education, and/or insight. Referent power. This is influence based on the possession of desirable characteristics or traits. This supervisor may have been given their authority because of good looks or a great personality rather than any aptitude for the job. But people may enjoy working for that person too. So power essentially comes from one of two places: the position, reward, legitimate, expert, or the person, coercive, referent, expert again. Both are important. But what we must recognize is that power really comes from action. It's what I actually do that matters and adds to or decreases my power. In reality, a leader obtains best results by skillfully combining positional power and influence power into their daily life. As the old saying goes, you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. In other words, persuade me, educate me, Don't bully me. Influence me. Don't bully me. You get the point? And I will gladly even work harder for you. Power consists in one's capacity to link his will to the purpose of others, to lead by reason and a gift of cooperation. Woodrow Wilson. All right, let's jumpstart this power thing in you. Explain, don't demand. Look at an org chart for your group. Who has the power and why? Be diligent about using rewards and punishment. Cultivate allies. Win your enemies over. And read Power, Why Some People Have It and Others Don't. All right, let's take a look at what this looks like in action. Ask Barry Slouk, founder and principal of Slouk Incorporated. Ask him how he turned an initial $200 investment into one of the top ENR 600 specialty contractors, and he will tell you one step at a time. In nearly 30 years, he's moved his business from humble beginnings in the basement of his house to being one of the best places to work in Pennsylvania. His initial formula for success is simple: mastery of the trade, competence, integrity, and hard work. He firmly believes that regularly taking positive action on these critical elements is the foundation on which all else follows. In fact, he started our interview saying, true power comes from taking action. He works tirelessly to help others learn the same lesson. Done well, these three elements give you credibility, which causes people to listen to you. When people are listening, you have influence. And when you have influence, you have power. Consider some of these actions. A comprehensive training program, Roadmap to Excellence, gives employees the skills and confidence they need to perform at their highest level. Barry states, our focus is the personal growth of the team to support our company's high standards. He conducts a bi-weekly coaching conference call for employees. During the latest slowdown, Slouk recognized the challenges his clients were facing with the slowdown in the economy. He asked his employees two questions. What can I do to help you? And what can we do to help our clients? This supportive yet challenging dialogue is common for Barry. His employees responded with their characteristic candor and innovation. They validated processes to make the work more efficient, and they worked to better understand the client needs to ensure they were delivering maximum value. The payoff for this inquiry and effort: customer satisfaction reaches an all-time high. While the principles of success are timeless, he does admit his definition of mastery has evolved over time. From that initial concept of mastery of trade, he now looks at four areas: health, family, career, and philanthropy. He sets goals in each area and works towards them. He gets his employees to do the exact same thing. And these enable him to repeat the process and grow in power and credibility. He doesn't seek power, but he has learned to create it and leverage it for the greater good. At its core, I would assert that's what leadership is all about. All right, let's apply it in your own world now. Break out that journal, hopefully on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you rate on the effective understanding and use of power? Now, let's look at your use of power. Are you able to use and actually use coercive, reward, legitimate, expert, and referent? Again, in both cases, are you able to use and willing to use? List someone you know who exemplifies this trait. Why did you select them? What specific things can you do to improve in this area? And what one thing will you do differently as a result of watching this video? Well, there you have it. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. We've got more great content coming for you. We got the rest of the alphabet, and heck, we're starting the new alphabet. So there you have it. Construction leadership from A to Z. I'm Wally Adamchik. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.